founder of GrillBlazer and the inventor of the grill gun. This is the grill gun. You use it to light your charcoal grill or any other kind of fire that you want to light. Your bonfire, your campfire, etc. Chimney, fireplace. And what it is it's 400,000 BTUs of high velocity heat, fire. And in order to do that, in order to use a grill gun, you've got to use it safely. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time telling you what you need to know and what to worry about and what not to worry about better. So the grill gun is powered by propane. This is a propane tank. These are propane tanks. They're all 1 pound bottles. Right there I've got a 20 pound bottle, 20 pound tank. And the difference obviously is how much propane they actually hold. The propane is a liquid. It's stored in these canisters as a liquid. And the liquid inside would boil at minus 43 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really cold. And unless you live in Siberia or the Arctic Circle or Antarctica or someplace like that, you're going to get propane to boil inside this can. Now, if you go outside when it's that cold outside, sorry, your grill gun's just not going to work. But then you ought to be inside. So, what happens when you put a propane tank on the grill gun, like I have here, is the gas that's sitting on top of the liquid propane is pressurized because it's trying to boil off and go into the atmosphere, and it is pressurized the gun. So from this valve through the top of the tank, you have 55 to 155 PSI of pressure. And when I unscrew this from the grill gun, you're going to hear it make a popping sound. Right? That's just the propane that's under pressure that's being released from the gun as I disconnected it. So I reconnect the propane bottle to the grill gun and it repressurizes. Now I have propane gas in the gun ready to light. So before I light anything, I'm needing to make sure you understand propane is a volatile gas and it likes to burn. Be careful when using it. You want to use it outside in a well-ventilated area where you don't have to worry about propane gas buildup and a risk of explosion. Now, this, as I described, has propane in it and it's ready to burn. And there are 2 valves that run the propane and the grill gun. This top valve right here, which is this knob, if I turn the knob to the left or counterclockwise, propane will flow from the bottle out the fire bell. And if I lit it, I'd have fire. I'm going to just demonstrate right now. Ready? You hear that? As I adjust it, I'm getting gas coming out of the barrel, out of the valve. If this valve right here is a handle squeeze. So when I squeeze the handle, I also get propane to come out. So you have 2 different ways that you actually use the gun, and not to be afraid of them. When you hand the gun to somebody or when you pick it up, this little safety lock, this little button right here on the bottom of the handle has to be depressed in order for the squeeze trigger to be able to be squeezed. If I am depressing it, I can push it, but if I don't have it depressed, I can't. So I don't have a risk of using the grill gun and picking it up and having gas release when I don't want it to. So the propane gas will light. I've designed the gun to make, it's a very lean mixture of propane, and I've designed the gun to mix with air right out of this gas valve right here and through the barrel. This is the main valve. This is an override or the handle squeeze trigger valve. When I turn off the grill gun, I have to have both released. Either this one overrides this one and this one is a constant flow. So I'm going to actually light it and talk through it, but I wanted to make sure that you knew what was happening with the propane gas and you would be safe with it. When you don't hear any gas coming out, that's when it's safe. So I'm going to turn it on, very light glow, and if I pull the trigger right here, I get fire. And I can turn it off. I'll do it again, and you have to do it low. If you turn it up too high, listen to this. If I turn it up too high and I pull the trigger, it won't light. Why is that? Because there's too much gas flow. It's kind of like trying to light a cigarette. You know, when you're outside and the wind is blowing and you're just trying to light the cigarette, you can't get it because it's blowing out. Your match or your lighter won't light it. That's the same thing that happens inside the grill gun. So you just turn it on, hold the trigger, and now you can control the flame. Or I can squeeze the handle trigger and accomplish the same thing. So one thing that I want to make sure that you understand very clearly is when this is on and the fire is coming out, I don't want you handing it to somebody else unless you know for sure that they are able to handle the grill gun and they know how to operate it properly. Because it is throwing out a lot of heat, and the purpose of that is to light your fire and to light it fast. But if you just hand this to somebody, say, here, would you like to try it? And they grab hold of it and it does something and it startles them, it's dangerous. So never give the grill gun to somebody that you don't know is not quite capable of using it and knows exactly what they're doing. So don't ever do that. And the last thing is, I need to explain to you the spark system, how it works. So when I pull the trigger here, there's a wire that runs down through here and into the bell, and to the inside of the bell, this is actually the gas igniter. And inside the bell, a spark jumps. It's kind of like static electricity spark that if you walk across the carpet, you touch a doorknob, it goes pow, and it hurts your finger. Same thing happens. If you're holding onto the grill gun and you touch back here where the static electricity is, it's going to hurt because you got an 18,000 volt spike. It's like touching an electric fence out on the farm. Which is only 8,000 volts, so 18,000 is more, but it's not got any real current behind it, so it can't hurt you. It's not going to put you in the hospital. You just wish you hadn't done it. So do not pull the trigger like this in contact with this or with your finger inside the bell. So the purpose of this video is to try and teach you how to operate it safely, how not to hurt yourself, how not to burn yourself, what you should do in handing it to someone else. Finally, you need to know that you should store your grill gun take the propane tank off and store it separate so that someone can't inadvertently come along and pick up your grill gun and mess with it or burn your house down or something else really bad. Now I've shown you everything that you need to know about the grill gun to operate it safely. So the next thing that you need to do is just go out, light up your grill, have fun. Let's go grilling.